The latest financial relief news has sparked waves of attention across the nation as word spreads of a rare occurrence. Millions of Americans who qualify will soon see not just one, but two Social Security stimulus payments arriving tomorrow. This unexpected development has quickly turned into one of the most talked about stories, raising both hope and questions about how the double payment will work, who will benefit, and what it means for the broader economy. For many retirees, disabled workers, and low-income individuals who rely heavily on Social Security checks to cover essential expenses, this announcement could represent an urgently needed lifeline. The timing is especially significant given the strain of rising living costs, inflation pressures, and household budgets already stretched to the limit. With everyday necessities from groceries to utilities consuming more of people's monthly income, the sudden news of a double stimulus payment is a welcome headline that has many wondering if this is a one-time relief gesture or the beginning of a new approach to supporting seniors and vulnerable groups. To understand the importance of this event, it helps to first revisit the role that Social Security plays in American households. For decades, Social Security has functioned as the backbone of retirement and disability security, offering consistent monthly benefits to millions. In fact, surveys show that a large share of retirees depend on these checks for the majority of their income, with some relying on them exclusively. While the program was designed as a safety net, the rising cost of living has often left beneficiaries struggling to make ends meet. This is where stimulus measures, extra payments authorized in extraordinary times, have proven invaluable. They serve as short-term boosts to help cushion the blow of economic uncertainty. The announcement of double payments is seen as more than just routine scheduling. It is viewed by many as a targeted relief strategy in response to the current climate of financial hardship faced by seniors and others on fixed incomes. The mechanics of how the double payments will roll out tomorrow have been a major point of curiosity. Reports confirm that the payments are not random nor limited to a small pilot group, but instead tied directly to the Social Security Administration's disbursement schedule. Millions who qualify will see two payments arrive on the same day, effectively doubling what they typically expect at this point in the month. The reasoning behind this unusual move is believed to stem from calendar alignment issues, federal disbursement cycles, and the decision to consolidate certain benefits within a single period. However, beyond the technical explanations, the broader implication is clear. Millions of households will have an opportunity to cover debts, manage medical bills, or finally purchase essentials that had been delayed due to financial strain. The psychological impact of receiving this type of relief all at once is also powerful, instilling a sense of temporary security and optimism. This announcement arrives at a time when the economy has been characterized by both resilience and fragility. On one hand, employment levels have remained relatively strong, and growth has shown signs of stability. On the other hand, the inflationary environment has eroded the purchasing power of many households, hitting those on fixed incomes hardest. For retirees, the cost of prescription drugs, healthcare premiums, and basic utilities have risen faster than their standard benefit adjustments. That imbalance has led to widespread advocacy, with seniors groups calling for targeted relief to address the gaps. The double Social Security stimulus payment is seen by many as a response to those demands, even though officials have emphasized that it should not be mistaken for a permanent change to the system. Still, the gesture illustrates the government's awareness of the challenges facing vulnerable groups and signals the possibility of future interventions if conditions warrant them. The reaction from recipients has been overwhelmingly positive, with stories surfacing of how this relief will directly improve lives. For example, retirees on fixed incomes have spoken about using the extra funds to catch up on overdue rent, pay down utility bills that had been carried over from previous months, or simply stock their pantries ahead of the holiday season. Caregivers for disabled individuals have expressed relief that the double payment will help cover specialized equipment and healthcare costs that insurance often leaves behind. Beyond financial logistics, the announcement has also provided an emotional boost, restoring some faith in the system at a time when many were feeling left behind by economic policies. However, it is equally important to note that financial experts caution beneficiaries to plan carefully, reminding them that this is a rare occurrence and that regular monthly checks will resume their usual schedule following this temporary windfall. Economists have weighed in on what the broader impact of this development could be on the economy at large. On a micro level, households will immediately benefit, leading to short-term increases in consumer spending. This is expected to ripple through local economies, particularly in sectors like retail, groceries, and healthcare. Small businesses may see an uptick in sales as beneficiaries put their stimulus dollars into circulation. On a macro level, however, experts suggest the effect will be modest. While helpful for millions, the scale of the payment relative to the overall economy is not large enough to significantly alter national growth or inflation trends. Instead, the greater significance lies in the precedent it sets and the conversations it sparks about how to best protect vulnerable groups in times of rising costs. Policymakers may look at this as an example of how targeted interventions can provide relief without requiring sweeping structural changes. While the double Social Security stimulus payments are being welcomed with enthusiasm, they also raise important questions about sustainability and future expectations. Many Americans are now asking whether this is a one-time adjustment based on technical or scheduling factors, or if it signals a broader policy shift toward providing enhanced relief for seniors and disabled individuals. Policymakers have so far framed it as a unique alignment in the distribution system rather than a permanent change, but the attention it has received could create momentum for discussions on additional support. Advocates argue that even if the double payment is a temporary fluke, it highlights the reality that millions are struggling under the current benefit structure. They suggest that the event may serve as a wake-up call for legislators to revisit how Social Security benefits are calculated and whether cost of living adjustments are keeping pace with real-world expenses. For beneficiaries, the focus remains on the immediate impact. Financial advisors recommend using the double payment wisely, encouraging recipients to prioritize essentials like rent, utilities, medical expenses, and outstanding debts before allocating funds to discretionary purchases. For those who have been postponing critical healthcare procedures or medication refills due to cost, the additional check provides a crucial opportunity to catch up. Others see it as a chance to build a small emergency savings cushion, something many seniors unfortunately lack. Surveys have shown that a significant percentage of older Americans have less than a few $100s set aside for unexpected expenses. The double payment, while not transformative, could make the difference between financial stability and crisis for households living on the edge. Community organizations and nonprofits that serve seniors have also reacted positively, preparing to help beneficiaries make the most of their additional funds. Food banks and senior centers have emphasized that while the double payment is not a permanent fix, it does ease some of the pressure on local support systems. Volunteers report that demand for assistance has surged in recent years, particularly during times when inflation has spiked. With beneficiaries receiving double payments, there is hope that fewer individuals will need emergency food and housing support, even if only for a short period. This illustrates how even temporary financial relief can have cascading benefits across communities, lightening the load on charitable organizations and allowing them to direct resources toward those most in need. Critics of the move, however, warn of the risks of creating false expectations. They argue that framing this occurrence as a stimulus may mislead some into believing that similar double payments will become regular policy. Economists emphasize that Social Security was not designed to function as a stimulus program, but as a long-term safety net. While the government may intervene occasionally with one-time adjustments or relief measures, the system itself remains bound by complex funding mechanisms and demographic pressures. The Social Security Trust Fund has long been the subject of debate, with projections showing that without reforms, it may face challenges in meeting full obligations in the coming decades. Against this backdrop, critics suggest that celebrating double payments should be tempered with awareness of the program's financial constraints and the need for long-term solutions. Still, the human element of this story is undeniable. Beneficiaries who have shared their stories describe a mixture of gratitude and relief. For a widowed retiree in her 70s, The double payment means being able to afford winter heating costs without fear of running out of money before the end of the month. For a disabled worker recovering from medical procedures, it means covering co-pays and transportation expenses that had become overwhelming. Families who care for elderly parents note that the extra payment provides a brief reprieve from financial stress, allowing them to focus more on caregiving than on juggling bills. These individual accounts highlight the profound impact that even modest increases in income can have on quality of life, dignity, and peace of mind. Looking ahead, the double Social Security payment could influence the national conversation on retirement security, income inequality, and support for vulnerable populations. As the cost of living continues to rise, the gap between what seniors receive and what they need to live comfortably grows ever wider. Policymakers are under increasing pressure to respond, whether through adjusting cost of living formulas, exploring supplemental relief programs, or restructuring tax policies to support the aging population. The unexpected double payment may serve as a reminder of both the strengths and limitations of the current system, offering a glimpse of the relief possible when financial support is expanded, even briefly. For millions of Americans, tomorrow's arrival of double checks is more than just an administrative detail. It is a moment of relief, a symbol of recognition, and perhaps the beginning of a larger debate about how to ensure security for all in the years to come. In conclusion, the arrival of double Social Security stimulus payments tomorrow has already become one of the most uplifting economic headlines in recent memory. Millions who qualify are preparing to receive unexpected financial relief, with many planning to use it to pay bills, cover healthcare costs, or build a small cushion of stability. While experts caution that the payments are a one-time occurrence and not indicative of a permanent change, the event underscores the essential role Social Security plays in American life and sparks new conversations about how to better support seniors and disabled individuals in a challenging economy. The story is a reminder that behind every policy decision are millions of households whose daily lives are profoundly affected by even the smallest shifts in financial support. For now, tomorrow brings good news, hope, and the rare comfort of a double benefit arriving just when it is most needed.